Hey guys, welcome back to the Math Bench. We are doing Module 3, Lessons 7 through 10. Although that is 4 lessons, we do have a mid-module assessment on Thursday. I do want to give you a little bit of a heads up and tell you that this video is going to be very different. I'm sure you can already tell, but I feel it's better to just show you the problems that the kids are expected to understand and how they're expected to solve them. I feel like it's not as beneficial just to tell you what we're doing each day, but rather to just give you real examples of how to solve them. So let's go ahead and move on to Monday and see what we're going to be doing for this week. So for Monday, we have lesson 7 that is going to be counting the total value of $1, $10, and $100 all the way up to $1,200. For these specific problems, we're going to be modeling money to show place value. If you take a look at the first example, we have $136. Each little rectangle is going to be a specific type of dollar bill that we'll use, and that is from the title. We have $1 that we can use, $10 that we can use, or $100 that we can use. The students a couple weeks ago used straws. We had a big bundle that meant 100, a medium bundle that meant 10, and then a single straw that just meant 1. So if we wanted to construct $136 here out of the hundreds, tens, and ones, well, we could use a $100 bill, 3 $10 bills, and 6 $1 bills. Now, the rationale behind this is because the 1 in the hundreds place stands for $100. So if we just use one of those, we're already at 100. The 3 in the tens place stands for $30. If we have 3 tens, you can count by your tens, 10, 20, 30, and you go to $30 there. And the 6 in your ones place stands for $6. You can use the $6 there to add up your 100, your 30, and your 6, and you should come out with a total of 136. It's the same thing for the next problem. 451, we'll write it as 4 hundreds, 5 tens, and 1 1. A common mistake students can make here is to think that the 5 just means 5, but in reality it means 50, because we cannot forget that we are counting by our tens here, and each 10 will add up eventually. So if we have 5 tens, it'll be a total value of 50. And we always need to connect each digit back to its place value. We can't just forget about what the original value is. Despite the number that's in the place value, there is a truer value to it. So 4 hundreds is 400, 5 tens is 50, and 1 1 is just 1. You add all of those together and you end up with $451. Do not forget to show your different forms of numbers. We've already talked about them in class, but the major 4 that we've talked about are standard form, expanded form, unit form, and we also have word form as well. Examples will be here on the screen just if you need a quick reminder for what each one is, but that is the main takeaway that we will be doing for looking at lesson 7. Moving on from Monday, on Tuesday, we have lesson 8 that is going to be counting from $10 all the way up to $1,200, and you are only allowed to use $1, $10, or $100. Now, one of the things to take note of here is looking at the picture. If we look at number 1, we're starting at 70, we're going to end at 300. So what's one of the easiest ways to make 70 into 100? Well, you could use your tens, right? You need 3 more tens to make 70 into 10. Think about your addition. 7 plus 3 equals 10. So the same here can be said for the number 70. Once we get it to 100, now we can use our 100 bundles, because now if we add 100 with another 100, we're now at 200. And now you can see the pattern of where you only need 1 more 100 to get to 300. So if you ever have the chance to make a 2-digit number into a 3-digit number, in this case 70 to 100, do take that opportunity to make it even, so that way you can get it done quicker. The last thing we want to do is use $31 bills and then $201 bills. That's going to take too long. That's going to be too many straws for us to use. And in fact, speaking of straws, if we go ahead and take a look at the key that we have in the middle there, I know it may look like tally marks to you, but what we've learned in class and what we've seen as a visual demonstration is the big bundle there, which is where you see it equals 100. It has 5 lines with the line in the middle. That is your big bundle. Those were all our straws together. We tied them with a rubber band, and it was 100 of them together. For the medium bundle, that will be 10. That is represented by your 3 lines with your rubber band in the middle. And then lastly, we have our singular straw, which is just 1. So those were the values that we're going to be using to count from all the way to $10 all the way to 1,200. And although it is possible, yes, to be using $1 or $10 the whole time, we have to think of what is the fastest, efficient way to get there. And counting by your hundreds, using the biggest value that you have first is going to be the quickest way to do it. Looking at number 2, we want to go from 400 all the way to 564. Well, I can fit a 100 in there. That'll put me at 500. I can't use another 100 because then it would be going over. I would be at 600. That's not where I want to end up at. I want to end up at 564. So since I'm already at 500, I can add a 10. That puts me at 510. Another 10 is 520. Another one's 530, 540, 550, 560. I can't use any more 10s because that would put me at 570. I want to get to 564. So since I'm already at 560, I'm going to add 4 ones. In this case, it would be $4, and thus I would get 560 to 564. Please use the quickest, fastest, efficient values that you have available to you to get it done as fast as possible. It will take practice. We do have a problem set on this where we will be doing multiple sets of these problems. But when we say to show the work for the problems, this is the type of work that is expected to be shown. Although it can be solved with simple subtraction. For example, number 1, 70 to 300. You could subtract 300 minus 70. You would end up with 210. And yes, you would get your answer. I'm sorry, 230. Yes, you would get your answer there, but regardless of that, it's not to check for subtraction, it's to see can we count from place value to place value and apply that to showing our work. On Wednesday, we will be doing lesson 9, and that is to figure out how many $10 bills fit inside of $1,000. So to understand this, I think it's easier to build a pattern first. If we have 10 $10 bills, that'll give us $100. If we have 20 $10 bills, that'll give us $200. And thus 30 10s makes 300, 40 10s makes 400, and 50 10s makes 500. We're halfway there, and thus our goal is to figure out how many 10s fit inside of 1,000. You can try and figure out the rest of the pattern with your family right now to understand how many $10 bills does it take to figure out $1,000. For Thursday, we have our mid-module assessment. We will be trying to assess everything the students have learned from Module 3, Lesson 1, all the way through Lesson 9. This is just to serve as a checkpoint to see where the students are standing, and if you, the parents or caretakers, want to see where your student is currently standing from this assessment, feel free to reach out. I will go ahead and send you that information. For any of you that are using this as a resource, I recommend that you do keep this as data so that way you can work with your small groups as well. But for Thursday, there is no lesson. There is only going to be the mid-module assessment, and we'll probably be preparing for Friday, which is going to be Lesson 10. For Friday, we have Lesson 10. That is going to be counting our ones, tens, and hundreds with place value disc. Essentially, it works the same way as dollar bills. There's a $1 bill, $10 bill, and a $100 bill. Well, there are disc little circles that the students are going to be using that are labeled ones, tens, and hundreds. For the exit ticket, it's to understand what the disc in each place value represent. So, for example, if we have 3 10s and 5 1s, that is going to be the number 35 since we have 3 10s and 5 1s, but that'll be represented with 3 10s disc and then 5 1s disc. You add those together and you'll get 35. So that's just one example of how you'll see it there. But remember that a new part of this curriculum is to explain how we got our answer. I can tell you that for the exit ticket, there is a sentence stem that says, I changed blank to blank. They need to be able to explain what number they changed from the start to the finish and how they got there. They need to be able to explain to be able to receive full credit for the exit ticket, and the same rules apply for their assessments that they have in the future as well. So please just make sure to talk about that with your children, whether you're the parent or caretaker. It'll go a long way, and it also helps build written fluency and reading comprehension as well. And that'll do it for the week with Module 3, Lessons 7 through 10. Do not forget the mid-module assessment is on Thursday. That will not be going into the gradebook, but it will rather serve the purpose of understanding how the student performed with lessons 1 through 9. Obviously, I know lesson 10 is included in here, but that is going to be post-assessment, the post-mid assessment, not the post-final assessment. So they're going to be seeing how they did on lessons 1 through 9, how they understood the concepts of that, and then from there on out, we'll be going and continuing Module 3, and the final assessment will be much later. I understand that this style of video was extremely different to how we've been doing it, but as I mentioned earlier, actually seeing the examples, what they're expected to learn, and how you can use your traditional math sense to be able to explain it to them will go a long way. So if y'all have any questions, please reach out to me. You know how to get in contact with me. Leave comments if you have any questions. But with that being said, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend and a great week coming up.